Hey everybody, it's Austin Ward for Lettermen Row, back with another BuckIQ with the old Ohio State linebacker Zach Boren. We've got to talk about that position, and a guy that's had an interesting season, Zach, Malik Harrison. We've talked about him a lot, some good, some of the athleticism, some of the bad with the assignments and missed tackles at times. It's been an interesting year, but he's still a guy that's generating a little bit of NFL buzz just for his potential. When you think of Malik Harrison's season, Zach, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
You think about how athletic he is, right? We've diagnosed some of his plays throughout the year, and something that he doesn't lack is athletic ability. The thing I believe that NFL scouts and NFL teams find him intriguing is because they believe they can teach him to read and react. Right? As a linebacker, you have to, it's almost 50-50. Your athletic ability and how you can run sideline to sideline, especially in today's NFL game, and then also your vision, right? How you read and react to certain plays. And so I firmly believe that NFL teams, NFL scouts think once they get him into a film room, get him circled around football, that side of his game will be able to, that's where he can grow the most, right? And so he's got the athletic ability, and it's a hard thing from a college standpoint on how you diagnose what he looks like into the NFL, just because we have seen some of those issues this year from the way he's reacted during the game.
You've played that linebacker position at Ohio State. You spent some time in the NFL around teams at that level. If you're sitting down with Malik Harrison, what is the advice you're giving a guy going through this process?
He has to have an open mind. He has to be able to convey the message to these NFL teams and these executives that he's willing to learn, that, you know, maybe it wasn't the best scheme that he was in, but that if he gets into the right scheme, if he gets into the film room and is able to understand the defense that they're running, he's going to be able to put everything together. And I think that's especially what his agent is doing, is pushing the upside he has. You know, there are so many guys that say when they're in college, their upside's here, they're not, you know, going to get any better in the NFL. And we've seen a movement, especially over probably the past 10 years, where NFL teams and executives want to find that diamond in the rough, or want to find that guy who they don't believe has capped his ability here in college, and that they can turn him into an even better player in the NFL.
One more game to go this year for Malik Harrison, then that big decision after the Rose Bowl for him. We'll see which way he's leaning later on, but for now we're just going to look back at some of the upside, the potential for Malik Harrison that he showed on the field for the Buckeyes as they head into Pasadena at the end of the month. So let's roll the tape.
Again, the three-man rush as Robinson fires, and it's intercepted. Malik Harrison. And the Ohio State defense.
All right, Zach, after all this whole season of talking about Malik Harrison there at linebacker, hey, there was a play in this game earlier, the long touchdown, rushing touchdown allowed that we broke down earlier this year, missed an assignment, maybe lined improperly, but he finishes off this game with an interception, dropping back in coverage and making a big play.
This was a huge play, and this goes to show his athletic ability right here. He's responsible for the deep route. We've seen it. You know, they're playing some version of probably a cover two man, but it's kind of a swap on the outside. You've got a squatting corner, and it's just their way of showing a different coverage here. You see Malik Harrison bail and get his eyes to these two guys. He knows, hey, I got to carry the one that's going deep. And you see him be able to read and react. This is what I talk about Malik Harrison's upside. When he is able to play the game and be able to read and react and use his athletic ability as kind of a secondary tool, rather than say, hey, I'm going to be completely athletic and not really use my keys and try and run around blocks, that's when he's not as successful. But here, I mean, look at that. He's going backwards. He looks like a safety, you know, and he's a big dude. He's a linebacker.
Yeah.
Right, so the NFL executives, this what makes them so excited about this kid. When they see him be able to do this, they're like, oh, when I have to face the tight end, whether it be Gronk, Jimmy Graham, any of those guys nowadays, Malik Harrison's able to play in space and make some great plays like this.
When you go back to the front of this play here, this is something we've talked about a lot, you know, bringing these linebackers up, the walk up there. What he does to get his feet around and get moving backwards out of this position, I think that's impressive, because one thing we've talked about, it might be hard to read and diagnose for these linebackers. They're not back in the middle of that second level. But he's able to get himself in position right away, even coming from up close.
He is, and you see these guys, he's able to run with these wide receivers. These wide receivers are coming right off the line, and he's able to trail them and still get after the deepest receiver and play underneath, which is what he's supposed to do, knowing he's got safety help over top. You see these guys bailing. You see him get his eyes over here. He's able to run with a #1 receiver on the outside, be underneath him, and be able to jump and make a play going backwards.
Big early play for Malik Harrison. He really started building some momentum later in the year, at least statistically.
Good stuff. Probably took him an hour to get into that and another hour to get out of it. McFarland in trouble in the backfield, thrown down at the 2-yard line. Malik Harrison makes the play.
This was one of those big performances for him, just blowing up a Maryland play here in the backfield.
I love this play from Malik Harrison. So many times this year we saw zone to his side, and he would almost go behind the blocks. Here, he's so quick with his first step. He diagnoses that he's seeing zone this way, is so quick with his first step, and is able to beat the block and go back and make a play for a 4-yard loss. This is the exciting stuff about Malik Harrison. It's the upside that I've talked about multiple times that these NFL executives see,
right.
But he needs a play like this at all times. And the thing that may be most frustrating for Ohio State fans, especially me as a former linebacker, is I see what he can do. I see how talented he is. Now he just needs to put it together each and every snap.
Tackles. Chris Evans comes in at running back after the 8-yard Higdon gain. Second down and 2 at the 32. Patterson to throw it. In trouble, and he's sacked. Shot out of a cannon. Malik Harrison.
And this was another one that I know you were excited about, Zach. He finished up the year in the game with maybe his finest overall performance, and he set the tone right away. We talked about this one after the game a couple weeks ago, but the diagnosis here and the ability to go make a play, I know it impressed you right away.
I love this. This is a blitz package that is up Malik Harrison's alley. This is him to a T, right? Being able to stay back 4 yards off the ball, act like he's playing normal linebacker, and be able to run a cross blitz with tough Borland and have the speed and athletic ability to come around here. And, I mean, Shea Patterson has no time to throw this football, right? Malik Harrison is a big dude that's coming from depth, not showing it. They did a great job of diagnosing this blitz. And guess what? He finishes. He knows how to finish. He's a big, tough dude. He's not one of those athletic guys that, runs sideline to sideline and doesn't like contact. He's actually a guy that will hit people and bring the contact. So this play right here, it just shows his athletic ability, his ability as a football player, and his toughness in finishing plays.
Ohio State has cranked out a few of these very athletic, rangy outside linebackers, the couple that you know well, the Shaziers, Darren Lee. His body, to me, seems a little different than those two. He seems bigger and stronger, but I think maybe that's also why teams are excited, because of he can pack a lot of punch there.
It's funny you brought those two guys up, because I would say he's a mold between the two, right? I think Darren Lee is really athletic, but doesn't have the reaction that Malik Harrison had. Right? Granted, Malik Harrison needs to get better at it, but I think Malik Harrison is a little bit better when it comes to reaction standpoint. And you've got Ryan Shazier, super athletic, super tough, but doesn't have the size, where Darren Lee's a little bit bigger. So you mix the two, and that's what you get Malik Harrison. You almost get those are lofty. Those are lofty compliments.
Don't throw around those comparisons.
Yes, exactly. But what I'm saying is, he's almost like I think Ryan Shazier has a lot better instincts than him initially coming out of college. But Malik Harrison's body, Ryan Shazier would dream for a body like that.
It's certainly a proud tradition there in that linebacker room at Ohio State. One more game this year, as I said, for Malik Harrison coming in the Rose Bowl. We'll see if he makes a different decision, if he wants to come back next year and keep getting better, enhancing that legacy of those linebackers that Zach Boren was a part of as well. We appreciate him all year round breaking it down for us. BuckIQ at Lettermen Row. He's Zach Boren. I'm Austin Ward. We'll see you next time.